Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome back to our Thyroid Lives. I am your host, Dr. Anshul Gupta. So, welcome over here. So, today we are discussing about deficiencies, specific minerals and vitamins. My top five or six minerals and vitamins that I feel is necessary for all of the thyroid patients. So, that's what we are going to discuss today. And then, obviously, I'm going to answer your questions that you have for me. So let's get started. So yes, please start introducing yourself into the chat section. Who you are. It's just kind of nice way to say hi and get to know you guys. So please introduce yourself if you have any specific questions or which place you're joining us from. Please post that also, so I will know where you are and who you are, and just kind of a nice way to know. Where who and where they are joining us from. So yes, please use the chat section. That's the way I want to interact with you guys, because this is the only two-way interaction we guys can have. Otherwise it is always just me kind of posting the videos and sharing information. So I want to know who you are. So yes, welcome over here. Zara, welcome over here. Hi, you're joining us from Mumbai. Priyanka, welcome again, joining us from Delhi. Rajan is joining us from South Africa. Welcome over here. Jyoti is from Bangalore. Vishal is joining us, and you have hypothyroidism and always feel tired, fatigued. Well, we specifically took care of the fatigue piece of it. We discussed in detail what you can do in the last couple of lives. So if you have not listened to those, please definitely listen to them, where I tell you strategies how to improve your energy, specific things that you can do. Obviously, the today's things that we're going to discuss will also help with the fatigue, but those will be very, very useful also. Anita, hi there. Brenda is joining us from New Jersey. Kathleen is joining us from Pennsylvania. Didi is joining us from India. Judy is joining us from Georgia. Tina from Kansas, welcome over here, all of you. Rhonda is joining us from Kansas City. Welcome again. Saila is joining us from Hyderabad. Vijay is joining us from Pune. So wonderful, guys. Like a lot of people are joining us from different places. So that is great. San Jose, California, on behalf of my wife who is working right now. That is so good to know that, people are coming over here to help their loved ones also. So that is so amazing. Wonderful work that you're doing, because we always think of our own health, but sometimes these things can be so useful for our loved ones. So I always tell, like people about our videos also, that if you find something useful, share it with others, because this information is not easily available that we share. And a small bit of information can completely transform and change their lives. So yes, I'm so glad that you are here on behalf of your wife. Welcome over here. uh, Krista is joining us from Canada. How long we might be on this meeting? Well, generally it is 45 minutes, but if you have to hop off, totally understand. The longer you stay, the better it is. In just a few minutes, we give few minutes time to everybody to join in, so that the maximum people can benefit from it. I'm going to do my presentation that generally takes like another 20 minutes or so, and then after that, it is open for questions. So yes, the longer you can stay with us, that's great. But yes, like generally 40-45 minutes, that's the amount of time that we all can pay attention and do good. Otherwise, we all get so tired. So no longer meetings. Brenda has a lot of joint pains. Yes, that's a very, very major issue that joint pains have, a lot of people have it. And some of the minerals we're going to talk about can be useful, plus anti-inflammatory herbs like curcumin, boswellia, ginger, quercetin. Those are all great things that can help you with your joint pains. Felicia is joining us from Maryland. Welcome over here. Florida, Winsome and Tracelyn is joining us from. That's wonderful. That's great. Great. Looks like a lot of people have joined now. So I said I'm going to start a presentation, so at least a majority of people can look into that presentation and know what I want to share with you guys today. And whatever questions you have, you can always post it in the chat section. Once I'm done my presentation, I'm going to start taking those questions so they are not missed. As you know, I'm not able to take all the questions. So the sooner you post, as soon as it comes into your mind, go ahead and do that so I can answer that. And then if you are not over here, then you can always listen to it later on also, because these are always available later on too. Okay, so let's start with my presentation. So we will, as I said, talk about the deficiency. So as I said, I'm talking about mainly, let me fit this over here so it's easily available. Okay. So top five deficiencies. Okay. So like, how I talk about in thyroid patients that, they need certain vitamins and minerals. So I'm talking about these top five deficiencies, which I see almost in 80 to 85% of my patients with thyroid disorders. So that's the reason. So they are so common and so prevalent. So I wanted to share with you guys so you are aware of them and start working on them to improving it, because they all work to improve your thyroid health. So very, very important minerals, vitamins that we are going to talk about, because you have to understand that thyroid is not a disease of getting more thyroid hormone. It is a disease of supporting your thyroid from all different angles, whether it is reducing inflammation, whether it is rebalancing your hormones, whether it is to detox, whether it is to gut health, or whether it is to giving all the nutrients that your thyroid needs. Okay, so that's very, very important to support your thyroid from all different angles, and that's where people will see much better improvement in their numbers and how they're feeling. Okay, so as you know, thyroid disorders are very common. Like five critical deficiencies we're going to talk about today. And what is more important is that people now think that I have a thyroid disorder, but they don't know whether it is Hashimoto's or not. Current research suggests that 90 plus percent of current thyroid condition world over, we are not talking about United States or any other particular country or India or any other country, we are talking about world over, 90% plus of thyroid disorders are Hashimoto's disease. So very, very important that you need to know whether you have Hashimoto's or not. Get those tests done of antibodies, the TPO and the thyroglobulin antibodies for Hashimoto's, so that you can start working on it. Now, the first question is that obviously people have is that, okay, well, you talk about these deficiencies. How do I know that, I'm deficient in these particular vitamins and minerals, right? So these are some of the signs and symptoms that, tells you whether you are low in these vitamins or minerals. Okay. So that's what, is important for you to know about it. So first of all, if you are persistent fatigue, okay, so, and this is very, very interesting, guys, is that in my practice over the course of last 5 years, I have almost 70% of my patients who have thyroid disorders will have low energy issues, and majority of them actually just thought it was normal to feel tired, and they just continued their life living like that. So it is so surprising for me that how we normalize our symptoms, how we normalize our disease, and we even forget what normal feels like. So, tired or fatigue just means that, okay, well, if you feel your energy is not enough to do your days, to do your things, if you do not have energy to do extra things in your day, some kind of hobby, or if you're not able to complete your task at work or at home, not able to pay attention, any kind of low energy you're feeling during the day is a sign or symptom that your body is struggling. Okay. And you're low in these vitamins and minerals. Brain fog, cognitive issues, right? And brain fog is not that, okay, well, you lost your memory completely. No, brain fog is that, well, previously you were able to remember all the names. If you met a random person down the street, you were able to remember his or her name. But now you will not be able to. Even sometimes you will be struggling to even remember names, of people, who you met 2 or 3 days ago, like a new friend or a new colleague or somebody. Or you're not able to pay attention to things, like like today, like you are listening to what I'm saying, and uh, after 10 minutes or 15 minutes you are just not able to pay attention. Nothing is going into your brain, or you're not able to comprehend things. That means that your concentration has gone down, and that is a warning sign that your brain needs certain vitamins and minerals. Weight loss, right? You're unable to lose weight, or you have lost a lot of weight and you're unable to gain weight. Both are the problems. Obviously, losing weight is a major problem with thyroid patients, but some patients are not able to gain also. That is again telling that your body is suffering and it needs some specific vitamins and minerals to support it. Okay. Cold intolerance, right? Very, very common issue that a lot of thyroid patients goes through, which again can mean that your blood flow is not appropriate, not reaching where it's supposed to be. Hair loss or hair thinning, very major problem. Again, if that is you, then yes, that means you need some specific vitamins and minerals. Obviously, if you have Hashimoto's disease, high thyroid antibodies, specifically if they are higher than 100, that means it's a problem. That means you need to start working on them to lowering it. So very, very important that you know about the thyroid antibodies. And then the poor T4 to T3 conversion, I think a lot of people might not be aware of this situation. That is more technical stuff. But yes, T4 is your inactive thyroid hormone, and T3 is a more active thyroid hormone. So if that is what is happening with you, where your T3 levels are low, then yes, you need some specific vitamins and minerals to get it better. The number one deficiency, this is where we talk about L-tyrosine. Okay, now what is this L-tyrosine, right? L-tyrosine is actually an amino acid. Okay, as you guys know that we need proteins in our body. Proteins are made from amino acids. Literally each and every function in your body needs different kinds of amino acids, because these amino acids are part of your enzymes, part of different processes of your body. And one of the amino acid is L-tyrosine, which is needed by your thyroid gland to produce thyroid hormone. Okay. So if you do not have enough of L-tyrosine, then you might not be producing enough thyroid hormone, right? So that's the case. So it doesn't get the limelight, the L-tyrosine, because we all assume that we are eating enough quantity of food and enough quantity of protein. But why people might be deficient in L-tyrosine, specifically thyroid patients? There are a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is that not all foods have L-tyrosine amino acid. So unless you are eating high quality protein which has complete amino acids, then you might be low on it. Okay. So specifically if you are vegan or vegetarian, that might be an issue, because you have to be very, very focused on eating different kinds of proteins to replenish this L-tyrosine. Even if you're meat eaters, but your meat quality is very poor, not grown properly, not given the right nutrition to that meat, then how are you going to get L-tyrosine from that particular meat that you're eating, right? So that's where I talk about high quality protein, not just protein. Everybody's talking about protein these days, right? Left and right, there are commercials of protein bars or protein powders and things. Yes, that is great, but it is about the quality of protein so that you get all the amino acids. That's the first reason, that not eating the right quantity and quality of proteins, which doesn't have amino acid L-tyrosine. The second problem is gut issues. Majority of the thyroid patients will have gut problems like leaky gut. So they are not able to absorb all of the amino acids from their meals. So you might be eating the best diet. You might be eating good quality protein, but your gut is not able to assimilate or absorb nutrients from that particular diet that you're eating. Then what it will lead to is deficiency of this amino acid. Okay. So that's the reason people are low in L-tyrosine, and that's where this is one deficiency that you need to correct. Okay, what is the impact on L-tyrosine? As I said, it is needed to create thyroglobulin, and thyroglobulin is actually then finally made into thyroid hormone. So indirectly, L-tyrosine is needed for thyroid hormone production. Okay, it basically gets converted to T4 hormone. Okay, so when it is deficient, then you produce less amount of thyroid hormone. Symptoms will be, you feel tired or fatigued, then you will have low T4, sometimes T3 also, but low T4 for sure, and elevated TSH is very common that is present. Okay. Do we have specific tests to check for L-tyrosine? Yes and no. Regular labs are unable to check for amino acids. Okay, but there are specific, advanced labs, what we call as functional medicine labs, which can check for all these amino acids, specifically L-tyrosine, L-glutamine, and a whole bunch of other things. Okay, but unfortunately, these lab tests are not available everywhere, right? So yes, there are functional medicine labs in US which can check for L-tyrosine, but internationally, those are very few labs. Okay, that's the first deficiency, L-tyrosine, that you guys should be aware of, that you should be taking. What is the dosage that you typically, if you are adding it would be around 4 to 500 milligrams of L-tyrosine on the daily basis. So you will get enough of it in your diet or in through supplementation, so that you can support your thyroid glands. Okay, so L-tyrosine is the number one. Second one is iodine. I think everybody knows about it, right? But I just want to kind of mention it one more time because obviously such an important mineral. So too much of iodine is bad, too little bit of iodine is bad. Okay, so that's a very important thing. That's the only message you need to know about iodine. Okay, so too little is bad, too much is bad. Okay, so how do you know what is the right dosage? Well, that's the problem. Okay, because it depends on how much iodine is in your diet. Okay, if you're vegan, vegetarian, then the only source of iodine probably in your diet is the iodized salt. Okay, so you have to be more particular in making sure you are including iodized food, which can be seafood like sea vegetables, sushis and things. Or if we cannot do that, then that's where supplementation could be useful. But if you have too much seafood in your diet, you are living around the coastal areas, and majority of your diet includes fish and seafood and sea vegetables, then you have to be careful because those are the people that might be have high iodine in their diet. Okay, obviously there is a blood test you can do of iodine, which is not perfect though. Urine test of iodine is a better test, but it is less available. Okay, so if you have question about your iodine, get the test done to at least know where your range lies. If you're very low, then you need to start taking iodine, or if you're in low normal also. But if you're very high, that means you need to cut back on it. Okay, why is iodine important? Everybody knows it is important for thyroid hormone production, because that's what, basically the T3 and the T4 is the number of iodine hormones, or sorry, number of iodine molecules in a thyroid hormone. Typically, if you are looking for supplementation, between 150 to 200 or 250 micrograms of iodine is what you should be supplementing with, not huge doses. A lot of people are taking milligrams of iodine, like 10 milligrams, 20 milligrams. Very high dose, I don't recommend it. Okay. So that's the reason iodine is the second one on my list that you should be knowing about. The third one is selenium. If you don't know selenium, then you should. Okay, because that's again very, very important mineral which is needed by the thyroid gland. Interestingly, in our body, the majority of the work of selenium is actually in your thyroid only. So that's the reason most people don't know about. What does selenium does to your thyroid? It is a component of what we call as thyroid peroxidase enzyme. Okay. Also a different enzyme called glutathione peroxidase. Both of these enzymes are taking effect when your thyroid hormone is being produced in your thyroid gland. So what happens is that your thyroid gland produces thyroid hormone. When they are producing the thyroid hormone, they produce these waste products also called reactive oxygen species. And the glutathione peroxidase and the thyroid peroxidase enzyme, both of them are basically responsible in removing these waste materials or reactive oxygen species. Okay, so if you do not have selenium or you have insufficient selenium in your body, then this mechanism doesn't work. Okay, then your reactive oxygen species, the waste material, is not able to remove from the thyroid gland, and this is where it triggers the autoimmune process. And that's the reason the most common antibody that we see is the thyroid peroxidase antibody. Okay, in the Hashimoto's patients, the higher the antibodies, the more destruction is happening to this enzyme. That's the reason you definitely need selenium to support this enzyme so that you can lower the antibodies. We have at least 20-25 research studies now which has shown consistently time and again that selenium supplementation can lower thyroid antibodies, specifically these thyroid peroxidase antibodies. Okay, so out of all the supplementation, each and every research study which has been consistently showing the best results is the selenium. Okay, so very important mineral. Now here's what I have seen in a lot of people, they're including selenium as a supplement through basically diet. Okay, which Brazil nut is a way to increase selenium, but I never saw anybody getting the selenium back to normal just with Brazil nuts, or their antibody reducing when they started eating Brazil nuts. So I don't know, like I don't have the exact research or reason behind it, but that's what my consistent observation is there, that I have not met a single patient of mine of or any person who has taken Brazil nuts and that has helped them to lower their antibody levels. And have a couple of theories behind it. A couple of theories is, one is that maybe the selenium in Brazil nuts is not particularly absorbed in our system. Our gut is not made to absorb selenium from the Brazil nuts, or the Brazil nut itself these days doesn't have the selenium that it claims to be one time ago. The reason being, majority of our food is getting nutritionally depleted. That basically means that we have less amount of nutrients as compared to before. Okay. So I think that's what is happening with our Brazil nuts too, is that they have less amount of selenium as compared to before. And plus the selenium which is available in Brazil nuts is not bioavailable in our body. So that's the reason we never get the proper selenium level. So that's the reason supplementation is very important with selenium. If you have Hashimoto's disease, no brainer, selenium should be there, but the dosage is important. Okay. So again, 100 to 200 micrograms is what you're looking at selenium, not more than that. Okay. And not less than that, because majority of the research studies use between 100 to 200 micrograms only. Less than that, they did not see an improvement in antibodies. Higher than that, people were getting selenium toxicity. Okay. So selenium toxicity is not that common, but some people are taking things that, okay, well, some of the selenium is good, let me add more. So they're taking 400 micrograms, 500, sometimes 1000. And that definitely leads to toxicity over the course of, months. Okay. But it can happen. Not very common, but it can happen. So selenium you should take, if you have thyroid and Hashimoto's disease, dosage between 100 to 200 micrograms. Okay. And the form of selenium is also very important. Okay. Because what I research is that selenomethionin is the only form which is bioavailable to our cells. That is the only form which is able to increase our selenium levels at the intracellular level. Any other selenium form is useless. Okay. And that's where I came with a theory that maybe the form of selenium which is present in Brazil nut is not bioavailable to our body. So selenium, third deficiency, very, very important. One of the most important mineral that you should definitely replenish. The next one is zinc. Okay. So zinc, we all know because of the immunity. Okay. But what it does is that zinc actually plays a very pivotal role in conversion of T4 to T3. Okay. Now, as you might know, T4 is the inactive thyroid hormone, T3 is the active thyroid hormone. And a lot of people are unable to convert this T4 to T3. And zinc can be very, very important in converting the T4 to T3. So that's where it is very important. You should be doing that. The important thing also to know about zinc is that, zinc alone doesn't work actually. It has to be taken with selenium for it to work. The exact mechanism is unknown, but again, zinc is part of the same enzyme process as selenium does. And somehow selenium activates the zinc in the cells, and that's where it is used. So, interesting research studies have shown that people who have taken zinc alone, that doesn't do much for their thyroid. But when they do it with selenium, that's the time zinc actually works really good. Okay. So, if you're taking zinc, make sure you're taking selenium with zinc for it to work better. Dosage typically is around 30 to 50 milligrams of zinc, not higher amount, because higher amount of zinc will cause copper deficiency. Okay. But again, when you're taking it for like 60 milligrams or 100 milligrams on the regular basis, that's the time zinc will cause the copper deficiency over the course of long term basis, not everyday basis. Okay. So that's where the zinc is very important. Make sure you're including it as a regimen, but taking it with selenium. And the fifth is over here is magnesium. Okay. A lot of limelight magnesium is getting these days, and it should, because it is a mineral which is involved in more than 600 enzymatic processes. Okay. So, literally, like magnesium is one of those minerals that each and every person, whether you have thyroid or not have thyroid, should have it in their cabinet of supplements. And it is very, very common to be deficient in magnesium. Okay. The reason being, our food itself is deficient in magnesium, and we need more and more magnesium, because let's say when you are stressed out, your adrenal needs magnesium. Okay. When your body is making thyroid hormone, it needs magnesium. When your mitochondria is making energy, it needs magnesium. Okay. So your RBCs, which is your red blood cells, they need magnesium. Your heart needs magnesium. So literally, like each and every organ of your body needs magnesium. So that's the reason it is very, very important. Okay. So magnesium, for specifically for thyroid, what it does is that it is needed for thyroid hormone production, needed for conversion of T4 to T3. So if your conversion is not happening, you need that. Plus, it supports the mitochondrial health. So if you feel tired, if you're fatigued, magnesium can definitely help in those situations. Again, foods with magnesium do not work that great, so that's the reason supplementation is the best important thing. But again, magnesium comes in so many different forms. Okay, magnesium oxide, magnesium carbonate, magnesium citrate, magnesium glycinate, magnesium threonate, right? Again, majority of the over-the-counter supplements have magnesium oxide or carbonate, which is completely useless. In fact, it is actually harmful for your body. So never use that. Magnesium glycinate or bisglycinate or chelated magnesium is the best one, because that is the maximally best absorbed from your gut, and your thyroid can use that form. Okay. So magnesium citrate is the second best form, because it supports your gut health and also improves constipation problems. So if you're not regular in your bowel movements, then magnesium citrate could be used. But magnesium glycinate or chelated magnesium is the best form of it. Dosage, will vary, but you can do between 300 to 500 milligrams of magnesium. Do it at bedtime, because that will help improve your sleeping also. So very, very nice. Magnesium is very good. uh, Whether you have thyroid, whether you have Hashimoto's or not, I will recommend each and every person who is looking to improve their health to have magnesium as a supplement on their board. So that's very important also. Why I chose these particular five different minerals, okay, or things over here, is that because they are interconnected with each other. One works to support with each other, or one activates the other person. Like how I said, selenium and zinc, they are basically, they don't work alone. Okay, so zinc doesn't work alone unless you combine it with selenium. And research shows when you combine zinc and selenium together, you see much more drop in your antibodies as compared to when you are seeing only on its own. Okay, so that's the reason selenium and zinc, works really good that way. Why iodine and L-tyrosine works great? Because they are both precursors to hormone production. Both are needed for the thyroid hormone production. So let's say you're taking L-tyrosine, but you're deficient in iodine. Well, that again, your factory cannot produce thyroid hormone. Let's say you're taking iodine, but you're not taking L-tyrosine. Again, the same thing. You might have more iodine circulating in your body, but because your thyroid cannot produce thyroid hormone because the L-tyrosine is not there. Okay, so that's the reason you have to combine iodine with L-tyrosine for it to see the benefit. Magnesium is, again, as I said, it's like supports literally all of these things: selenium, zinc, iodine, L-tyrosine, to work better. So that's the reason magnesium is kind of sitting on the top, where looking after each and every vitamin and mineral in your body. So the goal over here is to work on all of these deficiencies together, not just one, not just two, but all of them together. So that way you can see an improvement. Okay, because most people are doing one thing or the second thing, or just kind of trying one supplement at a time. That doesn't work. You have to combine all of these things together for your body or your thyroid to actually see a difference in there. Okay, so that's where I also want to make sure that you are aware that there is testing available. So try to get the testing done locally with your doctors if you can. Selenium, zinc levels, magnesium, get the RBC magnesium levels done, because that's the one which is the most accurate one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, or if your regular doctor has no idea about it, then that's where you need to work with a functional medicine provider to get all of these deficiencies tested: selenium, zinc, magnesium, iron, L-tyrosine levels, all those things can be done. So testing, iodine also. So get those testing done. That will be good for you to know where your levels are. Okay, so get the testing done. Diet can help a little bit. Like we have discussed in detail, so many other videos and things about the diet, which you can always follow. I'm not always propagating supplements, but yes, diet can only do so much. If you've done the diet, then this is the next step of including supplements. And then even if the supplements are not working, that's where you need to work with a functional medicine provider to get better with your thyroid levels. Okay, so as you guys know that we have created this thyroid wellness bundle, especially this thyroid support or thyroid balance supplement. This has all of these vitamins and minerals. So it has L-tyrosine, iodine, it has the selenium, it has the zinc, it has some, like adaptogenic herbs. So wonderful supplement, so that basically, like, in one bottle you get all of the vitamins and minerals that we were talking about. And then you combine that with the magnesium supplement, and then bingo, like, you get all of the vitamins and minerals. So that's why you can do it. Check out, like, the link is in the description if you want to order or buy it. This thyroid balance or thyroid support supplement is a very nice way for you to support your thyroid, and the whole wellness bundle is designed specifically for, obviously, thyroid and Hashimoto's patients. So that will be something for you to do. Okay. So key takeaways which I wanted to share with you is that basically nutrient deficiencies are present. Okay. So you need to basically use them and provide and get them better. Focus on them. Diet is one piece of it. You can definitely do that. But even if it diet, if you're not getting better, that's where you need to get supplementation, which is very important. If you can ask your provider to test it, that is really good. So get it checked. Like, testing is always nice, but if you cannot test it, at least you can start taking these supplements. So that will be good for you. And then watch your labs, watch your symptoms, how you feel. Now, it doesn't work in a day or two. A lot of people will say, oh, well, like, I have taken this supplement, nothing changed. Okay, how long did you take it for? Yeah, I took it for 2 3 weeks. Well, you did not get this thyroid disorder in 2 or 3 weeks. It has been years since this disorder has been in making. So this supplement or anything is not medicine. It is not going to get things, everything's taken care of 2 or 3 weeks. It takes 2 or 3 months. So take 2 or 3 months, these things, that's where things will slowly and slowly get better for you. And that's where you will see an improvement. So that's what you need to know about these vitamins and minerals. Okay. Good. So that's what I wanted to share with you about these deficiencies. It's very important to know. And now I'm going to open up for questions. So if you have any questions, post it into the chat section. So I will help you to answer those for you. Okay. So as I said, this is a place where you can buy our supplements. This is our website. A lot of blogs are over there. Like, and then if you have interest in working with us, try to email us. Obviously, we have very limited slots. So we try level best, but at least you can try to email us, and we can see if we can work with you if you are the right candidate to work with us. So these are all the resources. But otherwise, I keep on sharing more and more resources with you. So we will do that. Yeah, and also, like, I wanted to share that, I am also going to do sometime soon a big thyroid summit, which will be a week-long event, which is coming up in January. Okay, I think January 17th to something like that. It's an online event, free for everybody to attend. So make sure, you're not losing that opportunity to attend this thyroid summit. Obviously, keep following us. So in the community section on our social media, we'll be posting about the summit. Great line of speakers. You will know the latest information about thyroid health, what you can do beyond from what we share. So look for that summit. We will be talking about it more and more as we go along. But yes, so that is coming up so that I can share more latest information with you. Okay. All right, so let's take some questions. So, Akansha has this question: how to reduce antibodies in Hashimoto? So that's what I said. Taking these supplements, as I said, selenium, zinc, L-tyrosine, iodine, magnesium is great way. There's a lot of research studies that will lower the antibodies. Vitamin D is the next thing, which has shown to improve antibody levels. So do that with that. Improving your gut health through probiotics is also important. Reducing inflammation or reducing antibodies. This is where you take curcumin, ginger, boswellia supplement. Okay. So these are the things, these are supplements that you can do. Otherwise, obviously, I've made other videos about the diet that will help you in lowering the antibodies and things. So that is the first way of doing it. And then after that, obviously, it depends how bad the situation is there. If your antibodies are not getting better, then you need to address the root causes. So very important to understand the root cause approach. I don't know if you guys know, but I wrote a book called Reversing Hashimoto's. So I talk about exactly how you can actually reduce the antibodies, the diet, the supplements, and everything. Easy read. And I share around 160 plus research studies which I've studied, which support this book. Okay, like, it's not that I've written just in thin air. So I will recommend you to, if people have not read it, I will, it's an easy read. I will recommend you to read it. Available on Amazon. So you'll have a better understanding of the root cause approach that I talk about. What type of selenium? Selenomethionine. Okay, selenomethionine. Okay, might not be pronouncing it perfectly fine. Let me try to put it in the chat section. Okay, so I know, but our thyroid balance has that supplement in there. Okay, so let me put it in the chat section. Okay, so you guys will know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's the right form of selenium. So that you do that. Do you need to take thyroid medicine on Hashimoto's? Well, obviously it depends on person to person. And I think the follow-up next question is that is it possible to stop taking levothyroxine? Again, depends on person to person. Okay. So some people are able to stop it, some people are unable to stop it because we don't know how much your thyroid has been damaged. Okay. So if your thyroid is damaged to the point that you need thyroid medicine, then you need it. Okay. And let's say the thyroid has not been damaged, then yes, maybe there is a chance that you might be able to get off of the medicine. But unfortunately, right now, there is no test that can determine how much the thyroid has been damaged. The ultrasound doesn't tell us that. It only tells us about the structural damage. It doesn't tell us about the functional damage. Okay. So that's unfortunately right now at this point of time, we don't know, or I don't even know a percentage of people, who are able to stop the medicine. That's the case, it is there. So that's the question. Let's go to the next question. Please prescribes magnesium supplement. So magnesium supplement, as I said, you can go on our website and it has magnesium over there. And we have two different websites. One is for India and one is for international US patients. So you can go and get supplement. You don't need a prescription. It's a supplement. Okay. So that's great. Are these deficiencies related to vitamin D deficiency? So vitamin D deficiency is again very important, right? And I think almost everybody knows about vitamin D, so I didn't even include it because I think everybody's checking it, everybody's taking vitamin D. But yes, if you're not, then yes, you should have vitamin D on board. Vitamin D is literally again one of those things which is good for everything, for your brain, for your bones, for your heart, for your thyroid, for your inflammation, for your hormones, literally everything your body needs vitamin D. So take vitamin D with vitamin K2, right? That's the right form of vitamin D that you should be taking. But yes, vitamin D is important. Simple blood test available everywhere. Do it. If you are low or if you're low normal, then yes, you need to take vitamin D. What about exercising? Details, please. I live in Europe and I cannot buy supplements from elsewhere. So what do I do? Well, so we do ship to Europe, like through our US website, but obviously customs are a huge problem. So if you want to, you can do it. Exercise is great, okay, but the best exercise for Hashimoto's or thyroid patients is a mix of cardio and strength training. Hit or high intensity interval exercises are not a best choice, so I will not recommend that. But a mix of cardio and strength training are the best exercise for Hashimoto's and thyroid patients. So start working out those. And exercise is such a subjective thing. A person who's running a marathon, for him or her, like, doing a treadmill for 30 minutes is nothing. Well, on the other person, a person who has never done exercising, if I want her or him to run on a treadmill for 30 minutes, that's too much, right? So start slow, but 20 to 30 minutes of exercising on the daily basis is the minimum that patients should be doing it. And if you can mix certain days of cardio and certain days of strength training, that will be the best exercising. Why do doctors only test TSH? Okay, because that's the conventional way of checking for things. Okay, the conventional recommendations from Endocrinology Society is that just check TSH. If that is, like normal, then you don't need to do anything. And societies take a long time to change their recommendations. So they are coming along. Maybe in some time, you will see more and more doctors doing more complete thyroid panel. If not, you can ask for it, right? Ask your doctors so you can do it. So Subhashri says that, like did the thyroid function test, TSH is 8.12. Is it okay? Is it normal? Well, it depends on your thyroid lab. But typically in US, this range 8.12 would be high. And high means you have hypothyroid. Okay. But again, this is not a doctor consultation. We need to know much more detail. But TSH of this high means you definitely need to see a doctor and talk to them what it means. Okay. So that's great. Natalie Summit. Yes. Yay. Yes. Then the summit is coming up and it is going to be wonderful. So please, look out. We will be posting and talking about it more and more. It's coming up in January. So I'm already like working on it, on the lineup of all the speakers that I want to get on the summit, so that I can share with you the latest on that. Okay. Zinc supplement dosage is between 30 milligrams to 50 milligrams. Okay, of the zinc dosage. Okay. Can Hashimoto's hair loss, weight gain reverse it? Weight gain, yes, absolutely. A lot of our patients, are working with us because they have issues with weight gain. So yes, they can lose the weight. Hair loss takes a long time because the hair follicles, take a couple of months to grow and things. But yes, within 1 year, people will see an improvement. But again, depends on how much the hair loss has been happening. Okay, but yes, it is a possibility. DD has this question like, I have facial swelling in the morning. That means there is inflammation. So start working on anti-inflammatory diet and start anti-inflammatory supplements. Curcumin, turmeric, okay, ginger, boswellia. These are the anti-inflammatory supplements plus omega 3s. Okay. So buy those supplements, start using them. You should see an improvement in your facial swelling. Okay. Um, Rheumatoid arthritis, inflammation will help with these minerals. Not all of them. These are more specific for thyroid, but magnesium is great. For rheumatoid arthritis, our Inflammapro supplement works really good, and our Omega Max supplement. So I will recommend with you very highly, or start using that Inflammapro and Omega Max. Plus, obviously combining with magnesium and vitamin D, and that works really good. In a lot of our patients, we keep on getting a lot of emails about it and comments that they work great. Okay, so let's see. Walnuts good for health for thyroid. Yes, walnuts are great. Awesome. One of my favorite nuts. Almonds and walnuts are one of my favorite nuts. Walnuts have the highest amount of the good omegas that we need for our body. Okay, so if you're especially vegan and vegetarian, those will be wonderful to include them into your daily regimen. Soak them overnight. That activates certain enzymes in them. So that is the best way of consuming it. But yes, soaking them makes the little bit texture like more not that great. So if you're okay with the texture, then soaking them overnight is the best thing. But yes, walnuts are great, awesome nuts to include. uh, So that's what you can do. Let's see. Can I eat beetroot after 1 hour of thyroid medicine? No, beetroots are fine. Majority people will be okay with beetroot. So I think those will be good for you to include it. Okay. Let's see. TSH and free TSH test. There is TSH and free T3 and free T4. I have never seen a free TSH test, at least in US. So I don't know if there is a free TSH test, but it might be free T4 or free T3 that you might be talking about. But then it's only TSH. Okay. So D has this question, like my thyroid ultrasound shows it has been scarred. Is there any point in trying to reverse thyroid disease now? Well, you will not be able to get off of the medicine, okay, if your thyroid scarring has already happened. But reversal for us means if you are able to reverse the symptoms, if you have any. Reversal means if you are able to lower the antibodies, because these antibodies are not only destroying your thyroid gland, they are also destroying other parts of your body. They're destroying your adrenals, they're destroying your mitochondria. They can lead to other autoimmune diseases. So that's the reason I have very particular about working on the antibodies if those are present, to lowering the antibodies. Okay. Mary has this question, whether it's to stop dairy when you have no issues with it. Well, how do you know you don't have any issues? That's my first question. People think that issues means, okay, well, you consume dairy and it will give you some stomach upset or some reaction. Well, no, we are talking about leaky gut. We are talking about gut related issues. So if you don't have any gut related issues, doesn't mean that dairy is good for you. Okay. Typically, what I see is that when patients give up dairy and gluten, they see good results with it. So that's something you can give it a try. but you will only know after you have given up for at least 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, so within 1 week or within 2 weeks, you will not know it. You have to give it up for 4 to 6 weeks, repeat your thyroid numbers, see how you're feeling in your body, and then make a decision of introducing dairy. So yes, for us, dairy is not the best choice. Okay, what is complete thyroid labs recommended? So complete thyroid labs testing includes TSH, free T3, free T4. If you have access to reverse T3, you get that. If not, that is okay, you leave it. And then antibodies. One is TPO antibodies, thyroid peroxidase antibodies, and thyroglobulin antibodies. Okay, so this is the complete thyroid testing that you should be getting. Very, very important to do that. Okay. So, guys, I think that is it for today. I think we are running out of time. So, thank you so much for joining us. It was really, really always a pleasure, meeting you, interacting with you, and working with you. Please keep sharing your love with us so that, I know that you are liking what I am sharing. And keep also telling us what new things you want me to bring up or do, so we can do that. Otherwise, obviously, I will keep kind of sharing information as I can, whatever is available these days. So we'll continue doing that. We'll see you again sometime soon. Sadia has this question. My TPO is 361, thyroglobulin is 1286. Oh my God, these are very high numbers. So Sadia, these are very, very high numbers. You definitely have Hashimoto's disease. There is no question about it. But these are very high numbers of antibodies. You should definitely make an attempt to lowering them quickly as possible. Okay, so again, all the supplements I spoke about, as well as look at my channel, several videos I've shared about thyroid antibodies and things and how to lowering them. So do that. Okay, so good, wonderful. That's great. Thank you so much again for everybody joining us. We will definitely see you again sometime next week, and then keep doing good things and keep taking care of yourself. All right, take care now. Okay, have a nice day now. Bye bye.